What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Last time on our awesome Australian food adventure, we hunted possums by night.
We kill it.
And ate them by day.
What? That's not at all awful, is it? No.
Dude, that's amazing.
Now we're leaving the island of Tasmania and heading to the mainland.
We have come here to Melbourne.
This is not Melbourne.
It's not Melbourne at all.
No.
I was told Melbourne, and then we drove. And then we didn't stop driving for about...
Just a scant 3-hour drive north of Melbourne, you'll find this place, a farm where thousands of this country's largest birds are born and bred. This is the emu. Native to Australia, they can grow up to 6 feet tall and weigh well over 100 pounds.
Am I going to get away with saying emu?
No.
How do you say
Are emus a part of the ostrich family?
They look like
They look like it. They built the same.
Yeah,
Big old egg body with the strong legs.
So we say it wrong.
What we been saying?
He was about to tell them the correct way to say it.
From the top.
Where thousands of this country's largest birds are born and bred. This is the emu. Native to Australia, they can grow up to 6 feet tall and weigh well over 100 pounds.
Am I going to get away with saying emu?
No.
How do you say it?
Emu.
Where's the ewe coming from?
You guys don't even have these creatures in your country.
No.
So, I decide.
Oh, dang it.
Today, Andrew and I are on a mission to learn how this farm works.
Their ears are wild. It's just big holes in the back of their head.
But even more, I want to know how this bird tastes.
Is it beefy?
It's better than that.
Oh, I cannot wait to try this out.
It all starts here,
This right here?
with this freakishly large organ.
Any guesses?
Kettlebell.
This is the emu's gizzard.
Wow. I've seen gizzards before.
Like a chicken gizzard.
They don't look like...
I feel like we as people of the world have eaten everything. Everything. Nothing went untouched.
Right. Nothing.
The emus, because you guys want it to be called emu with a U, but there's no U. Interesting.
Y'all know I can't speak proper English, so the big bird.
Yeah, the big bird with the claws and stuff.
This is gigantic. To find out more about the gizzard and what is inside of here, I'm bringing over Jeff. Jeff is the one running stuff here. He's the emu master.
Expert.
What's inside of here?
Lots of rocks and lots of grass and grain.
Can we cut it open and see what's inside?
The gizzard is an organ found in birds that's used for digestion. It's a specialized stomach made of thick muscular walls.
Ooh, oh, wow.
Used for grinding up food.
That's the part we eat.
When you have to chew but have no teeth,
In here.
well, the gizzard is nature's solution.
Oh, he's cut. Oh. So that was like the inner sac. It's
Real
actual
rocks.
giant rocks inside.
The stones and pebbles that grind the food are known as gastroliths.
When I was younger, we had a hobby farm, and the chickens, you had to buy like little pieces of gravel for them so they can eat the gravel and it helps them digest. This is not gravel. This is landscaping material. Why do I want to smell this, Andrew? It's a bit bitter. So when you cook this up, is it similar to a chicken gizzard in texture?
Honestly, I've never eaten a chicken gizzard.
Oh, really?
We're about to chow down on a
Look like
giant
some breast
fried
meat.
gizzard for breakfast. But first, it must be boiled for 2 hours, then sliced into thinner pieces. Since Jeff is new to gizzard cooking, farm manager Steve is stepping in to help. In a pan, he adds oil, first frying garlic, then the gizzard. Add some bell pepper and a pinch of salt.
Shit.
But when do gizzard ever smell good? So this one, he just melted in. But when you cook it down, that's when it hit different.
I guess. But who is hitting different from? Not me.
I mean, this is
My grandmother used to sneak gizzard. And I'd be like, ooh, this tastes good, mama, because you know, it have the gravy on it. That's gizzards.
And then you're still up in here chewing it, huh?
No, I stopped. It's for my
Sometimes you
appetite.
just don't even know what you're eating. Just eat it.
That sound like her. Just eat it.
Yeah, just eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Top job, Steve.
Well done.
No worries.
It has some of that chicken gizzard flavor to it. There's almost like a little minerality to it, but it's on a giant scale. It's huge. It's so meaty. Sometimes the chicken gizzards can be a little bit gristly because they're smaller, and this is so much more meaty and just really dense. I love it.
Dude, that's really good. Chewy, but in a good way.
Yeah.
The best kind. I'm gonna stop the interview and just eat for a little bit.
We started farming about 50 years ago in Australia. This is a family farm. I was born here. I'm actually 5th generation in the area.
And is it true that this is the biggest emu farm in the world?
Certainly in Australia, but I don't know of anything in the world bigger than this.
That's crazy. How many emu do you have here?
About
Like,
7,000
how'd you get
on
all
farm
this?
at present.
Well, 6,999. When it comes to emus are a big part of Australia's history. Do you know how far they go back?
Well, believed to be about 40,000 years. Indigenous Aboriginals of Australia. That's been one of their major food sources.
The Aboriginal people were the native inhabitants of this land thousands of years ago. For them, emus were an essential food source, providing meat, eggs, and fat. Their feathers were used for tools and clothing, and their bones and tendons could be used to create weapons.
The indigenous folks used to hunt emu and cook it underground, very similar to what we saw with the kangaroo in Western Australia. It's fascinating that the preparation of this animal goes back forever.
Once Europeans arrived here, they brought over their own beef, sheep, pigs, rabbits, grains, wheat, and barley. Suddenly, emu steak was so last century. Some still eat emu today, but if this farm existed only to sell emu meat, it simply would not survive. You'll find out why soon.
We are on a mission to learn more about your farm. The gizzard here is just the beginning, but we have a lot more to try from here. I believe we're gonna start with the preparation of a neck soup.
I believe so, yes.
You know,
Give it-
it's like
give
with
it
a
like
cow,
turkey
you can
bone.
make
Neck
oxtail
bone.
soup, but with an
Turkey
emu,
neck.
the
Yeah.
neck is its oxtail. Did I make that up?
No.
You don't have to go along with it just because I'm the host of the show.
Today, Andrew and I will be trying 3 different emu cuts prepared in 3 vastly different ways. Right now, we're heading to the processing facility to collect the meat ourselves. Though it turns out butchering an emu is not as straightforward as I thought.
That is the pelvis. Now I'm going to come down the edge of the bone,
Chris is the farm abattoir manager.
the rump,
Before she can display the emu's 7 major cuts,
and that is the oyster.
she's got some boning to do.
And now I'm going to take off the drum. There's 2 more drum cuts and the shank, which I'm going to take off in one piece.
Are these sold in the stores?
Andrew,
Yes.
you're wearing a hairnet.
I have never seen it sold in a store, but I do know that they sell it in our jails, in our prisons.
This type of food?
Yes.
So no, I'm saying that like for them, like
the big
outside,
bird.
like in Australia, like do you buy this off the market, like, or you have to get this from like
farm
off
or
the farm?
something. But I know we don't.
That's crazy.
I
to
haven't
mention
seen
that,
it in our stores, but I know that like our prisoners eat it.
Why?
You know, some of the stuff that they eat are not even consumable for us.
But how do you get this on the menu?
I don't know.
I never knew that.
I don't know.
That's different.
Yeah,
Where you get your information from?
inside stores.
For your face.
Yeah, kind of strict here, you know?
So right now we're in the boning room. Could you break this down and show us what each piece is?
We have the drum cuts, which is basically like the drumstick on a chicken. This is your oyster fillet.
Does that mean like it's part of the hip?
Yes, this is what you're having today, the fan fillet.
It looks incredibly lean.
This is the flat fillet. We also have the 2 cuts that we have left are the round. The last one is the rump.
Here's what I find so fascinating. It's broken down into all these unique cuts that you've given names to. And I can't help to think that 100 or 1,000 years ago, when indigenous folks were roaming the land, they probably looked at the bird completely differently. I highly doubt indigenous folks were like, well, this is an oyster cut, this over here for jerky.
Nah.
I think back in Western Australia when they first decided to look at emu farming, they spent a lot of time developing all of this. They actually registered the cuts, so they're the same as what you would call a rump steak in beef.
It's a way to make it more familiar. It's like, you know, beef rump, this is emu rump.
There's a ton of meat here. I mean, this is just one half of the animal, right? How much meat comes off one emu?
Around 11, 12 kilos of actual meat.
Wow.
That said, what does emu taste like? Is it beefy?
It's better than beef.
Oh, I cannot wait to try this out.
Today we'll try the fan fillet, the flat fillet, and the part that gets tossed on most birds eaten today. I'm talking about the neck.
I've had a lot of good sheep neck, especially if you go in the Middle East or Iran, it's delicious, but it's different species there. They're thick and they're really meaty. This is a bit more lean, kind of scrawny, almost a pencil neck, one could say. But I do still see some meat in there, and of course there's gonna be tendons and connective tissue between all the bones, and so if you braise it or if you boil it long enough, that should create a delicious stock and some tender meat.
Yes, sir.
At least we're gonna find out.
We will.
With the bird's exaggerated features, this giant emu neck will be perfect for a stew. So I'm hauling it to the home of Jeff and his wife Jane. She'll know just what to do with it.
The emu we saw in the boning room was a little bit more bony, I could say, but I didn't realize how much meat there really could be around the bones. So that looks awesome.
Our emu neck stew begins by caramelizing onions, then browning the emu neck pieces. Add some chicken stock, potatoes, carrots, pumpkin, and peppers before closing the lid.
We have our emu neck that's gonna braise for a few hours, and then we're gonna come back and try it out. In the meantime, we're gonna do a tour of this farm.
Nah, that is a lot, yo.
I want to get into the life cycle. My biggest question is, if you go from a sheep farm to an emu farm, do you start with the chick or with the egg?
We started with 2-year-old birds and then bred on from there.
How many birds did you start with?
I would have only had 10 or a dozen.
So these are all cousins?
No, I brought in.
Let's start from the beginning. These large green emu eggs take 7 weeks to hatch. Then the hatchlings require 4 more weeks to look like this.
This pen here, they're about 6 months old. We normally don't
I
quite...
don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting a black egg.
I think ostrich eggs are like polka dotted, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
But I heard at one point the guy, that's chickens though. He said the difference between a brown chicken having a brown egg and a white chicken having a white egg is because of what they eat. Mm-hmm. So is this the same as these birds as well?
Because they black.
We got questions, y'all. And the birds are black, so they pushing out black. Okay, I need
This is the most interesting episode from Sonny to me.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
facts.
I'm learning so much about
I'm about to
the
do
big
it
bird.
later.
I'm going to keep saying the big bird because y'all pick on me when I say the word wrong. So, the big bird.
This could be the big bird, baby.
Yes.
Okay.
This is birds till they're about 2.5-year-old.
Oh, really?
wow.
2.5?
These guys have got a long way to go.
After 9 months, the emus head out here, where they're introduced to a vast landscape to roam free.
Oh, and he also mentioned that it wasn't just because of what they was eating that made their eggs look the way they look. It's because of their genetics of their fur. So the emus have black fur. You know what I'm saying? So pushing out a black egg is because of the fur.
All right.
The feathers. I'm saying fur. The feathers.
All right.
All right.
And I'm saying bird.
Bird?
They probably
Big.
don't even say it's a bird. Looks
Yeah.
like a rooster. I don't know.
A big rooster.
I swear, these birds look like dinosaurs. Their ears are wild. It's just big holes in the back of their heads, like the first edition of ears. First of all, this sound, it feels like a deep, roaring rumble through this big audience of emus.
So these are all 18 months old, coming into their first year of breeding, and that's their mating call.
That is a terrifying mating call. If I heard that, I would pee my pants a little bit. I would be like, hi.
These emus need 30 months to reach market weight. From here, most will head to the slaughterhouse, while a fortunate few will be moved to the breeding pens.
I'm really curious about... Oh, God, bit me. You're making it hard. I'm gonna actually choke you out. I'm curious about emu meat as an industry. Is emu meat something you could just find at the supermarket?
Most of the meat is sold in restaurants. It's very limited. We're only producing, say, 50 tonne of emu meat in Australia a year, but we export the oil. The oil is the whole industry.
This is emu oil. You can actually harvest more oil than meat from these fatty birds.
What country are you exporting to the most?
We send a lot to America, actually.
You guys,
I've never heard of this.
you're to blame.
Can we try some oil?
We certainly can.
All right, let's do it.
Emu oil contains high amounts of vitamin K2,
You can go first.
and it's rich in omega-3, 6, 7, and 9.
You need to chase it with a Diet
No,
Coke?
no, that's quite pleasant.
It also has anti-inflammatory properties.
Ah.
It's hypoallergenic, antibacterial, and a bunch of other stuff.
Could you pour me? Here, I got a spoon here.
Those who
Yeah,
purchase it
he's a-
take it
yeah.
as a daily
Just put it
supplement.
in your back pocket.
Oh, rich, oily, but a very neutral flavor. I thought it would be funky or gamey or weird in some way, but no, it just tastes pretty neutral.
Huh, that is the oddest flavor. You're right. It's hard to describe because it's really smooth.
But you don't really take a spoon of that each day, do you?
Capsules.
Capsules, that's the way to go. So I understand most of the money in this industry is in the oil, but we're interested in the meat.
That's right.
Stop it.
Dude, let's get out of here.
Yeah, and mostly we should leave.
While the emu neck cooks, there are still 2 more emu dishes to make. First, stir-fried emu flat fillet. Jeff makes a marinade from red wine, sesame oil, garlic, ginger paste, sliced onions, and honey. Slice the meat thin, then slather it and let it soak up those flavors overnight. Once ready, stir-fry on high heat for just a few minutes.
You mentioned that restaurants are frequently buying this meat off you. What kind of dishes do they do there, do you know?
I don't know, we've never been to a restaurant to find out, but ultimately buy the fan fillet and this split fillet.
Oh, he has a heavy accent.
So I've never had emu meat. I have had ostrich before. I've had it twice. One time we smoked a whole ostrich and one time we cooked it underground Mayan style in Mexico. Both times it was really beefy, rich, and delicious. The emu, I have no idea
I have
about.
never, no, I'm not going to say never because I have, but it's videos like this that would make me consider going vegan.
Man.
Because I'm looking at the bird, and now I'm looking at it on the plate. And, and I'm a cook, but...
So was it harder to see blood Buddha? Or is this more of a challenge?
This is more of a challenge because I'm seeing the bird.
The actual bird was like being shoved into the...
And him petting the bird.
That's some good rotisserie chicken right there.
Yes.
Big old bird on the table. Right, man, how you...
I don't know. I be feeling sorry for the animals sometimes.
I feel you. Nothing wrong with that. No, real talk.
Yeah.
I feel it. Right here.
Right. But you'll still eat that.
Give me a plate, sir.
But I can see it has that same kind of beefy looking texture.
Right, it's not what you expect from a bird, that's for sure.
Okay.
Lean but soft. I would say the texture does feel really beefy. What was notably different than typical beef is there was no sinew, there was no like intersection of muscle. It was just this big piece of muscle.
It's so crazy that it's such a lean bird despite the amount of like fat that's on the body.
Jane, how many times a week are you eating emu?
I'd say at least 3 or 4.
So you're not sick of it?
No, because you can cook it so many different ways.
Yeah, this is delicious. Earlier when it was being boned, Chris put some aside and she said that's for trim, which is being ground up and given to who?
Oh, that goes into pies and pasties. That's the first thing that's always sold.
Are they advertising like an emu pie, emu meat pie?
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Oh, wow.
It's starting to.
Yeah, it's starting to. This was our first taste of the meat, but we have a couple more dishes, including the emu neck soup.
Wow.
Dish number 2, oven roasted fan fillet. Simple and straightforward. Jeff rubs the meat with salt, pepper, and herbs, then tosses it into the oven to roast.
Another way.
This looks amazing. It's really remarkable.
Snap.
I mean, I think if you brought most people here, sat them down, and said,
We gotta see that again.
Wow.
They did say it's like steak.
Yeah.
Man, this is what? So what would you call this? This is... This ain't well done. This ain't well done.
No.
This is medium rare. No.
Rare?
Bloody.
Bloody.
This is bloody.
With salt, pepper, and herbs, then tosses it into the oven to roast.
Came out looking nice. But, whoa,
this looks amazing. It's
right
really
there.
remarkable. I mean, I think if
The
you brought
juices.
most people here, sat them down, and said, "Look at what this is," they'd be like, "Oh, beef, I guess."
Right. I mean, maybe not that.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is emu neck soup. It looks super fascinating. It is kind of like an oxtail, but even maybe a little bit more bony. We're gonna get into that last.
Oh.
Here, yes, very thinly sliced fan fillet.
Super lean. It looks amazing.
I think this time we can really taste the meat itself a bit more, whereas the stir fry was a little bit more sweet, had more of those Asian flavors. It's a rich flavor, but it doesn't have that rich fattiness that beef would have. So essentially, I just think it's like very lean beef.
You're right, though. You can tell it's not beef, but it's that same kind of, it's a red meat.
What do you think?
When people ask me that same question, I say it's similar to beef.
Add a little barbecue sauce on the side, very delicious.
Good.
I like how the wine cuts through the... I just like it has alcohol in it.
I guess how they cut it kind of remind me a little bit of brisket.
Brisket is more stringy as well too, though.
Yeah, depending on the type of brisket.
Yeah, I think that was more like a pork, like, you know, when you eat like a good gravy pork dish. That's what it kind of looks like.
It's been over a decade since
I haven't had that in a while, but when I did have it, ooh, Lord, them some good days. But
it did make a good gravy.
It sure did.
I think we should talk about this right here. It's wild because you can see like the vertebrae as they move upward, and I want to see if I can peel off some of this meat with my teeth. Cheers.
Jack balls off.
Oh, yeah.
Really tender.
It's just all about the ratio of fat, and there's tendon and collagen all in there kind of mixed in and broken down.
There's a lot of meat on this neck.
The thing
You guys
about
don't
cooking
use...
the neck of a bird is the timing. Like, literally, you can have it to where it's just right when you bite into it and you get the amount that you need, or you can cook it all the way down to where you just pick it up and the meat come off.
It comes off, falling off the bone.
Falling off. I mean, both ways are delicious.
I'd rather it fall off the bone, though.
I feel you.
Because I don't want to eat I don't like putting my mouth against the bone. So I'd rather be able to use a fork.
I feel you, yeah.
We do this. So what do you typically use the neck for?
In pet food.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm blown away. That's really good.
And I think it's a good way to eat it too on the bone.
It's like more rewarding to kind of peel it off yourself. Do you think the meat will ever become viable as something people could just pick up in supermarkets? Do you think it'll ever get to that level?
Most of the meat that we're producing now is going to the restaurants already. All last year's meat has been sold, basically.
Would you welcome a big onslaught of new farmers taking on EMU?
Yeah, there's room.
You think there's room in the market still?
Yep.
Yeah, it is kind of almost a novelty, you know, that it isn't a staple in supermarkets. It really would be a good thing to see if it became more commonplace.
What would it take for that to happen? It sounds like the demand is there.
It's going very well.
So if the demand is there, why aren't more people getting into this?
A long-term thing to get into. By the time you get an egg, it's 3 years before you get a profit. Most people can't sustain the losses and expenses to get up and running. It's taken me 30 years to get to the stage I'm at.
For you, what is your goal? What is the next step?
I want to get the product out there because I think it's a wonderful product. It has great health benefits for people. I just want to get it out there. Eventually retiring.
Jeff, Jane, this has been an incredible experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Well, there you have it, man. Sonny with another banger, bro.
Yeah, this was one of the best episodes. High up on the list. Like, it was very interesting and educational.
Really was, yeah.
You know?
Didn't see this video coming, though. Like, we talked about emus with you guys, and I never knew there was a farm out there for them to...
Nah. I thought y'all was still
eat
at
'em,
war.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking, y'all. I'm picking.
Hey,
I'm
and
picking.
another thing, though, he mentioned that they're not being sold in the stores.
Right.
I feel like if people can make them themselves, they'll still go out to eat at the restaurants, but what would business look like then?
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
how
saying?
high will this be in
Price.
the store?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The pricing and all that stuff you got to take accountability for as well. So, yeah, let us know if you ever went to the restaurant and got you a plate or two of these.
And how you like it.
And how did you like it?
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our
Super thanks
if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our
Description box below.
We'll see you soon.
Peace.